Melissa King, and she's just been crowned the top chef all-star who won season 17, and congratulations. And you much deserve, because I would have to say your food made me want to lick my TV more than anybody else's. But you had other accomplishments too, because you were voted fan favorite. And also you won more challenges, like, well, I guess with this last one, 10 than anyone ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But, and also, you know, there's only been 6 winners now who are female, but this is the first time it's been back to back, with Kelsey being last year. So maybe there's some steam building here to catch up with the parity, right? But now, do you already have that $250,000 in your bank account?
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Yeah. But you did say that you would donate your $10,000 for being fan favorite. So that's very nice of you.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So did you actually watch the TV season when it aired?
No. So, or what do you mean before it aired?
No, I mean, as it aired. I don't know if they showed you it early, but.
No, we never see it early. It's always when you watch it, that's when I'm watching it for the first time. So yeah, I watched every Thursday. I was on a lot of Zoom calls with friends and family, cheering on every Thursday. So pretty fun.
But it's interesting because given what's going on, like Daniel and I were both talking that as we watched the Jonathan Gold challenge, it was sad because you saw all these great restaurants and all these great people who, you know, make delicious food that he celebrated, and you know they're going to be in trying times now, and I'm sure you're very well aware of it as well. And but I you know, whatever publicity they could have gotten, you know, is kind of gone because they're not open. But how is your industry doing? I mean, how are you doing with what you do? Because you're not a chef, you do other things, right?
I'm a chef, but I don't own a restaurant, and I've created a career where I don't necessarily need to have one to be a successful chef, but I can still bring my food to people and bring that experience to people. But my industry is certainly struggling right now. It is a very difficult time. I mean, even before COVID, it is difficult to run a restaurant. And so now with the pandemic and having to be at, 20, 30 capacity for restaurants, it's just not sustainable. Restaurants are built on 100% sustainability model. So I would encourage anyone that's out there, if you do want to help, do some research, look up some websites on how you can support and donate. I know that saverestaurants.com is a good place to start, and as well as the James Beard Foundation. And then also, if you can't do that, order some takeout, order delivery, do what you can to patron these restaurants when they do open, because they're going to need our support.
And when you got to those final episodes, you were really on a roll towards the end there. You had won the 3 elimination challenges in a row before the finale. So, like, in those moments before the final announcement was made in the finale, did you feel like, you had that, it was going to be you at that point, or was it still completely just anyone's guess?
It's always anyone's guess, because every challenge is, it's not graded on a cumulative scale. It's really judged how you do in that moment on that particular challenge. And so it was really anyone's game. I knew that Stephanie and Brian had cooked it their best. I knew I was cooking at my best in that moment. So, and then we were hearing so much positive feedback that it's often confusing. Like, wait, so who do you like? Do you like them or do you like me? It really, I think all three of us felt so proud of what we had served them and what we created. And so it really was anyone's guess at that point.
Well, I want to ask you about restaurant wars, because the one thing I hope would have happened is that, I mean, Brian said it to the camera, and maybe he did say this to Kevin, but he made way too much stuff. And there's no way, I mean, there's no way he could have done all that well. And there were so many plates that covered the whole table. So I just wondered, did he ever say, or did you ever think to tell him maybe you should edit? But because he was so intent on doing what he wanted, this was such a dream for him. And I just felt bad for all of you because, it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we all talked as a group, and you see it on there, I do mention there's too many plates. We need to edit, and especially if we want to win this, I think focusing on less rather than more is always better. Yeah. So I think he backed it up by explaining his concept and how it needed to have a lot of diverse amounts of dishes on the table. And so we stood by it. We really felt this is his vision. We're going to help him to achieve that goal. But there was certainly hesitations and a lot of discussion of whether or not there was.
Well, it's too bad that it kind of put you in not a bad state of mind, but a different, maybe questioning. I mean, it wasn't your fault that happened. Everybody tried their best to support him, but it still bothered you. And I don't know, how you got out of that. Well, making a good dish, right? Again.
I mean, well, we didn't get out of it because we all ended up on the bottom.
That's right. That's right.
We didn't really get out of that one.
Yeah. But no, it just seemed like it affected you, as you said on camera. And, I felt bad because it wasn't anyone's fault, and as he rightly did, he stepped up and took the blame. So, at least he did that and got back in. So
it's how they.
You're right.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of wondering, after that bit of a rough patch for those few episodes, in going into Michael Santa Monica, the episode where you sort of got your groove back, and it was like full steam ahead from there. What do you think? Did anything change about your mentality or about your approach that sort of brought things back together?
Yeah, I think really just following my food and believing in myself and believing in the vision of what I wanted to create. I think there's often times where this game gets to your head and you second guess everything, and then you go against what you want to do, and then you pay for that. And so I learned the hard way on certain episodes or certain challenges, and after that I was like, you know what? I'm going to speak up a little more about what I want. I'm going to fight for what I want, and I'm going to create the food that I want to present to the judges. And so I think sticking with that and really just, again, believing in myself is what carried me through to the end.
Well, you were so smart to know your strengths, and you're using what you've cooked, your Asian background, and making it work almost every single time, and making these very creative dishes really, served you well. And the one thing though, I went to your website and I saw sauces, right? Like you were using like the XO sauce and all that. they're all sold out. What the heck's going on there?
It was crazy. I did a little small batch run, several hundred units, launched it, and then within 25 minutes they just all sold out. So, and it was all inspired by quarantine and really trying to reach people with my food. And so I just started hand batching these sauces. But I did not expect there to be such a high demand for it. So it's actually making me reevaluate where the winnings should go. And so I want to put a portion of that money and invest it into the sauce project so that I can get it to everyone and that we can kind of go on a larger scale with it.
Well, that will make me happy. But I saw you have a whole lot of your recipes too, and I like that corn soup, and I think that's kind of what you made on the show. So thank you for putting that up there. I'm going to give it to my husband. He's the cook in the family.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was another thing, was quarantine inspired me to take my my normal event world and bring it into a virtual world, so that I could bring that experience to the home. So I started hosting these virtual cooking webinars that you can find on my website. And the coconut corn soup is certainly one of them. Very popular.
And given like the whole quarantine situation with restaurants hurting, people can't go out to eat as much or are scared to go out to eat as much. Now we're in a position where home cooking is sort of taking on that new dimension, and so now you're contributing in that way. Like, of course, there's that trend of everyone showing off their homemade bread on Instagram for a while, and does that inspire you too? How much, even with the restaurant industry kind of hurting, people's desire for cooking and for homemade meals and authentic meals is as strong as ever?
Absolutely. I think right now everyone is trying to be this professional chef, or they are a professional chef in their own home. And it's amazing to see that there's so much interest in wanting to learn more about food and how to cook better. And so again, that's sort of what inspired these virtual cooking webinars that I've been hosting, and as well as the sauce line. Was, I'm a chef, and for me, it's all about how can I bring my food to you and how can I help you be a better and a stronger chef. And so right now it's been sort of a blessing to be able to continue to cook and serve you guys, but through the virtual world.
And you probably, whenever they will, shoot more another season again, you'll probably be a judge on the show. I just wonder if you got a chance to talk to Kelsey when she was being a judge at Tally Mountain.
It was very brief. Yeah, we really don't have too much interaction between the hosts. They really want to maintain that space between the judges and maintain the integrity of the show. So there wasn't too much other than a hello and a picture, but Kelsey and I do know each other over social media.
And having interacted with all of the chefs on the show this past season and in your previous season of the show, has that influenced the way you cook and the way you approach food? Are there things you learn and techniques or approaches that you learn from your fellow chefs?
Absolutely. I think it's what brings me back to the show. It's one of the reasons why I go back, is because we do find so much community amongst each other, and we learn and exchange information and teach each other new things constantly. Even at home in the cast house, we cook a lot, and that's kind of our way of de-stressing, but we're always chatting about food. And so it really becomes this, I feel like Top Chef is like it's like a chef summer camp, and you get this experience where you're surrounded by so much talent. So why not absorb from each other and learn and teach each other? So it really is such an incredible experience.
Well, Brian Malarkey, thank God for him, because he was quite the character, but does he deserve his reputation as much? I mean, I don't know, the whole Leanne, thing with the seasoning and everything, they were both kind of not fully in the right or the wrong. There's some thing happened there that, you know, it was unfortunate because it became a kind of a not nice little tangle. But I think they eventually probably worked it out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's end of the day, like everyone in this cast and past seasons are all incredible chefs, and Leanne and Malarkey are certainly people I admire on a professional perspective and a friendship level. So, you know, there may have been moments where, you know, it's like fighting with your family, you know, but you get over it and you forgive each other very quickly. And, you know, we're all very close to each other. So there's definitely no hard feelings.
Well, one of my favorite moments was when Leanne and him had to do the umami, you know, whatever the flavors were, the harmony thing. And she just laid down the law and made him put all that crap back that he didn't want to use anyway. So she got back at him a little bit.
Oh, I love it.
But thank you for being on the show. And like I said, your food really, I mean, you could almost smell what the aroma was, because it had this kind of consistency, you know, that was very luscious looking. So yeah, maybe I'll try one of your recipes. I don't know if I'll be as good as you, but we'll see. And again, congratulations. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations, and stay safe, and enjoy your winnings when they come in.
Thank you, guys.